Would you believe if I say that we can solve some questions in the UPSC prelims exam if we have watched some TV episodes on Ramayana or Mahabharata? Well, hello dear friends, I am Zishan Hashmi, and let me just directly jump to the question that I'm hinting at. This is a question from the 2017 UPSC prelims paper, and the question says that which one of the following is the best description of INS Astradharini that was in news recently. And the options that are given are amphibious warfare ship, option B, nuclear powered submarine, option C, torpedo launch and recovery vessel, and option D, nuclear powered aircraft carrier. Now, assuming that we have no idea about the question being asked, or we have no idea about what is INS Astradharini, is there a way out through which we can solve this question correctly? Now, dear students, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that if we had watched some TV episodes on Indian epics, be it Ramayana, be it Mahabharata, or be it something else, we have very good chances of solving not only this but similar questions correctly. Let's see how. The technique that we are using here is wordplay, and we are breaking down the word Astradharini into two, that is Astra plus Dharini. Now, if I ask you guys that what would Astra roughly mean, then most of you would say that sir, Astra would roughly translate into weapon, roughly. And if I ask you that what would Dharini or Dharan Karna roughly translate into, then you would say that sir, Dharini or Dharan Karna would roughly translate into holding or wielding. So Astra plus Dharini, Astradharini would roughly translate into weapon plus wielding or holding, that or something that holds weapon or something that wields weapon. Now, this is our understanding of the wordplay that has been provided to us. Now, let's try to use this understanding of ours into, or try to fit this understanding of ours into the options that have been given to us by UPSC. Amphibious warfare ship, nuclear powered submarine, torpedo launch and recovery vessel, nuclear powered aircraft carrier. Now, if we look closely, dear students, the mandate that has been given here is very, very specific. It's something that holds weapon, or something that carries weapon, or something that wields weapon. Very specific mandate. And the options given here are very broad in nature. Amphibious warfare ship. All the four options certainly have weapons, carry weapons, but their mandate is very much broad comparatively. Option A, amphibious warfare ship. Now, it's a complete warfare ship. It doesn't just carry weapons. Option B, nuclear powered submarine. Now, a nuclear powered submarine again has a very broader strategic connotation. It doesn't just carry weapons. Directly jumping to option D, nuclear powered aircraft carrier. Again, an aircraft carrier or a nuclear powered aircraft carrier has a much broader mandate than just carrying weapons. Looking option C, in the light of this wordplay that we have created here, torpedo launch and recovery vessel. Torpedo can fit into a definition of weapon, and launch or recovery vessel roughly or strongly fits into our definition of holding or wielding. That is, holding or wielding of a weapon, torpedo launch and recovery vessel. Looking at all the options simultaneously and comparing them with the wordplay that we have done here, option C suits more correctly that it is highly likely or it is more likely that INS Astradharini should be a torpedo launch and recovery vessel and not a nuclear powered aircraft carrier, not a nuclear powered submarine, or not an amphibious warfare ship. Now let's understand what have we done here. We have used wordplay and we have broken down Astradharini into two essential parts of the word, that is Astra and Dharini, and we translated it roughly to something that holds weapon, something that carries weapon, or something that wields weapon, and we correlated it strongly with option C, torpedo, launch and recovery vessel. Now please understand, dear students, we are not sure of the answer. We don't know for sure whether option C is correct or whether option C is incorrect, but we are strongly assuming option C to be correct based on the logical technique that we have used here. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Now quickly moving to the next question from this paper of 2017. The next question that we are going to do, dear students, involves another logical skill, another logical technique. And the question is, which of the following is not a member of Gulf Cooperation Council? And the options are Iran, Saudi Arabia, Oman and Kuwait. Now, assuming that we have no idea about the question being asked, or we are not sure of all the members of Gulf Cooperation Council, is there a way out to solve this question correctly? Now, the technique that we are using here is odd one out. Using odd one out, can we categorize three options separately and mark one option as the odd one out, or the option that stands out separately from the other three options? Now, we are not sure of the answer, but thinking on the lines of ethnicity, Saudi Arabia, Oman and Kuwait, all three are Arab countries, plus they follow Sunni Islam. But Iran stands out as a country that follows Shia Islam, Shia form of Islam. Now, this is a categorization that we are doing based on ethnicity. Apart from ethnicity, categorization can also be made based on political affiliations. Again, we will see that Iran stands apart from the other three countries, Saudi Arabia, Oman and Kuwait. Now, be it political affiliations, or be it ethnicity, or be it any other categorization, in most of such categorizations that we do, we will see that Iran is more likely to stand apart from the other three given options. So, although we are not sure of the correct answer, we are not sure whether Iran is part of Gulf Cooperation Council or whether Iran is not a part of Gulf Cooperation Council, but we are strongly assuming, as you can see on the screen, we are strongly assuming that Iran is not a part of Gulf Cooperation Council based on the logical skill that we have used of odd one out. So let's quickly see that what we have done here. We have used odd one out to separate Iran from the other three countries based on the categorization that we have done, political categorization, ethnic categorization, or any other categorizations that we might have done here, basically using odd one out to separate Iran from the other countries. That's how we use odd one out, and we take risk. We take risk and mark Iran as a correct answer. So dear students, these were the two questions that we had to discuss today. That was all in today's video. And if you want to learn these logical paper solving skills in a more detailed format, in a more productive format, do explore the link provided in the comment section below and in the description box below to enroll in the Destroy Prelims 2022 club, where you can also access tests which has questions framed on this format that are very much in line with the changing format of the prelims examination. Also, do join the Telegram club, in which you can interact with me on a daily basis. The link for it is also provided in the description box below and the comment section below. So that was all in today's video. See you all in tomorrow's video, dear students. Jai Hind.